Hi, everyone. This is Brian Piper again with my co host, Elias Ventura. And welcome to Where Are They Now? The Industry Awards Finalists podcast. Episode 4. Amazing. It's already episode 4, Elias.
That's what I was just thinking.
Yeah. Episode 4.
And we're only getting started.
And we've just got started. I was working on trying to compile some lists and stuff for us to work from. And the more I look at it and the more I think about it, we are going to have content for a long time. A long time. um,
And I know that was part of your initial desire, that
right.
put this all together. And
Right.
It's the reason why I got excited over it, because we have so many friends, so many, faces that because of awards, or because of the industry, or because of a friend, or however, we've all met, we've all interacted, and it's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
And each person that we've had so far contributes big.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
I don't think there's anybody that that we've talked about and kind of have in our queue that can't contribute big.
Yeah, and what I meant when I say that is, not that someone contributes in a minimal sense, but everyone that we've had. When I mean contribute big, I mean every facet of bubble space in the industry they touch.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
whether it's influence, whether it's positivity, whether it's support, whether it's
True.
whatever it is, they touch.
It's more than just a retailer or an installer or rookie or sales pro or whatever the case may be, right? It's more than just this little niche, right?
Right.
And so many of them are just passionate to contribute, passionate to see the industry move forward in great ways. And I think that is absolutely fun. Absolutely fun.
Yeah, and what makes today fun, and I'm going to give a little nugget to, who our guest is today. I'm going to use the word influence.
Okay.
This guy is so passionate about influencing others to be better, and he's constantly nudging and poking and saying the same thing over and over again. And he is one of those guys who's very adamant about growth and
Yeah.
setting yourself apart, and someone that I am very fortunate to call a friend.
Awesome.
So it's going to be fun today. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I don't know the guy quite as well as you do. He and I have interacted um more so recently, I would say. But I think, just what I've seen of him through, groups online or seen from him at industry events talking to people. Yeah. He's another one of those guys it's not about it's not all me. It's not where does my interaction with somebody or something, where does that go for me? It's what does it do for the industry? How does it help everyone be better?
Agreed.
So that's kind of cool. I know these guys, they sit in the waiting area and they hear us talk, and some of them are like, "Oh, you guys are building me up big or whatever." But every one of them, it's they're big. They're big. And I know we've only really talked with winners of industry awards, and we have a lot of finalists beyond that to go with, right? But yeah.
So before I bring our guest on, I'm going to say this. When it comes to a certain segment of our industry awards, I think we can all agree that this guest that we have today basically exemplifies and makes the pinnacle of this award be a little bit more noticed.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
as I introduce him, I'm going to say, in my own humor, because I can, I'm going to welcome today the celebrity sales pro, Mr. Jayson Cook.
Nice.
I don't know who you guys were talking about, but it was not me. So
It's a figment of Elias's imagination.
Yeah, I guess so.
Probably, but I believe, and I can say this wholeheartedly, when I think of the Sales Pro Award, there's like a little like hashtag there that says Jayson Cook. So we should call the Sales Pro Award the Jayson Cook Sales Pro Award, kind of like sports have like, great Hall of Famers behind the award. I think that would be a good nugget.
Yeah,
for the Sales Pro Award.
like the Vince Lombardi Award, but this is the Jayson
Exactly.
Cook Award. Yeah,
Exactly.
that might be kind of cool.
The only difference is like you have like the Michael Jordan Award now, right? So like that is a great all-star, great, all those guys are great players. And then so if you put mine in there, it'd be like the toilet bowl type award. You know what I mean? Like we could put Elias up there or Rob up there. Those names. I don't know about mine. I'm just a guy.
Yeah. Humility goes a long way.
Yeah, it does.
I will say this. I don't think it matters which one of you guys we talk about, right? When it comes to sales pros, you, Elias, Robert, Jason Kranitz, any of those guys, any of you guys, you're all at the top of your game. You're all rock stars in the sales pro part of the world, not just the industry, but into that. When you segment it down into your little area of expertise, you guys are the rock stars.
Well, when you think about the
that
Pro Award, to kind of just add one more thing before we get into some questions here, the guys that are because the Sales Pro Award is still new. It's not. It doesn't have the trajectory that the Installer of the Year, Retailer of the Year awards has. But you look at all the winners, and you said Jay, Robert, Jason, Dan, all these guys. Dan, Rob, and Jay are still on the retail side, and they're still basically killing it. Basically in the trenches still.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, I've moved on to something else. Kranitz has moved on to something else.
Right.
So it's more near and dear to them than it is to me. And like I said in the beginning, when I think of the Sales Pro Award, I think of Mr. Jayson Cook here. He's done a lot for the industry. The Facebook group was, a thought bubble he had, and, it's helped out so many people. And I just see actively, and I'll say this to you since you're here directly, what you do for the industry and who you influence, it's noted. And I could attest and see that. And I'm pretty sure the people that you talk to on a regular basis, they see it too. So high five to you.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Okay. So I got a question for you.
All right.
We do our little questionnaire here. Industry awards experience, like tell us about what your current role is and how participating in the industry awards helped you shape where and what you're doing now.
So my current role now is mainly store manager at our Reynoldsburg location. I ran our store on Morris Road for a lot of years. So if you guys don't know, so Columbus Car Audio is the premier dealer in town, right? We're the 12-volt guy in Columbus, Ohio, and kind of surrounding cities. And we have a pretty far reach. It's pretty impressive. We've done my owners have done quite well for themselves in this industry. I mean, that's really what has helped me become who I am is the people I work for and work with.
Okay.
But currently they've moved me out here to try and generate more business. It's a very small satellite store. I call it the pasture. I think it's where they send the old people to die, So I think that's how I got sent out here. I irritated everybody enough that they were like, let's just move him out. Let's put him out there. But it's really cool because I work with some absolute rock stars. At Morris Road, I worked with a lot of guys and it was great. We have a very, very young crew over there now that I had the pleasure of working with for about a year, getting them up to where they're at now. And they still call on me here and there, but for the most part, they're self-sufficient and they're doing quite well. Out here, I work with legends like Donald Gerhardt, who has been the sales guy out here for years. He's the face of the e-store, if you will. He's amazing. Like the knowledge that this guy has, like it's insane. So I have him, Todd Godwin, who is someone who's been working for Columbus Car Audio since 1990, I believe. So I started in 98. So he's been here 8 years longer than me. And he's an awesome person. And then there's the legendary man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Dan Otech, Dan Wilson, who is a rock installer. And, so all those guys have really just, it's great to be like someone that's not like, I don't know most of the stuff these guys know, you know what I mean? So like, I'm learning from them every day and they're learning from me too. So it's really cool to have that back and forth. And
right.
The only downside is honestly, man, like I feel like I'm the dumbest person at the table. So like, I feel like almost starstruck, if you will, in a sense, like I'm almost afraid to say stuff sometimes. Cause I'm like, these guys, like, I should know this, right? Like I've been doing this a long time. I shouldn't have to ask you, but they just do things on a different level out here. And it's so fun to be around. It's kind of sparked, I don't know. It's reignited my passion for this. And same with the guys here, they've gotten kind of reignited as well.
Right. Well, there's a saying because you made the comment that you said you kind of feel like the dumbest guy in the room sometimes, and it's probably not really that you're the dumbest guy in the room, but there are guys that are smarter than you, and there's always the saying of never be the smartest guy in the room because you'll never learn anything.
Yep.
Right. So if you all are contributing and learning from each other, then where you feel like sometimes you're not the smartest guy, but other times you're educated enough to give something back. Yep. So it's just going to be this continuous feed from a group of guys that have tons of knowledge to share with each other. Right.
Right.
And then that all dwindles down to everybody else.
But you know what the best part about that is? You know who wins?
The store.
Besides the store, our clients.
Yeah,
our clients win. So that's been the best thing here is like, I know that there's a lot of, like I've said, talent here, but also a lot of tenure here.
Right.
I can safely say that you're not going to go to any place else. And this is my opinion. So obviously take it or leave it, but you're not going to go anywhere else in Ohio, at least, and find the experience that you're going to get here.
Right.
Just because these guys, they're legends, man. And so it's been great. And like I said, we've kind of fed off of each other. And everybody's kind of reignited this little passion, and it's so much fun, man. I enjoy coming to work. I enjoy what I do. I always have, but let's face it, it can get kind of routine and kind of, just the same old every single day.
Yeah.
And then the other thing out here is I've been able to, like I said, the staff at Morris Road was a lot newer. So I was constantly felt like I was getting pulled in different directions. Where out here, I can just focus on the client and focus on sales more than anything. And then, I mean, I still, I'm overseeing everything here. So I like that aspect of it because I have my hands kind of in a little bit of everything with the guys, just to see how it's going. But yeah, it's been fun, man. It really has. So we're going on like 8 or 9 months now, I think. and it's been great. You know, I don't know that I would have ever thought about doing this originally, but I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to do it and that I took it.
Yeah. So real quick before Elias gets into the next question, I gotta make a comment about something. So you've referred to it twice as something that I absolutely love. You don't use the word customer.
No.
You use the word client. And when I was in retail, that was my thing. Like everybody was a client. And there's a distinct difference in a customer and a client. We know that.
Yep.
And now, like I just said it a minute ago, you know, customer, and you're like, our clients. Yeah, because you don't have customers. Shops like you don't have customers. Not
So for me, yep. So I think they come in. So I feel that they come in as a customer and they leave as a client, because that the difference between the two is a customer may shop here every now and again, but a client is only going to come here, right? So I have a lot of clients. They're only coming to Columbus Car Audio, and they're only coming to Jay Cook.
Yep.
So, and I love it. You know,
right.
I'm working on, you know, grandkids' cars now, which is crazy. I guess I'm old, but
right.
But it's nice.
How did John Schwartz described it as generational client?
I like that a lot better. That sounds better.
Yeah, because you started with somebody who was, 20, 30 years old, and now they're, 40, 50, 60 years old, and they've got their kids, and now their grandkids are starting to get into it. So yeah, it's generational clientele. It's a great feeling when you see that happen.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So
I'm going to add one thing that probably makes your sanity and mental a lot more stable is, and Brian, you may not know this, but the main store, the Morse Road store, huge. It is massive.
Okay.
You could have two legendary football quarterbacks at different wings of the shop throwing footballs to each other.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah,
massive square footage.
So
what's the most amount of vehicles you've stored?
Oh gosh, a lot. I have no idea. I mean, to put it in perspective, we were in Orlando last year at Knowledge Fest, and I was sitting there. I don't remember who I was talking to. It might have been McNulty, but anyways, we were talking, and some guy behind me like overheard us and was like, "There's no way you can fit that many cars in your shop." I'm like, "What?" Like, one, you don't even know who I like. You don't know me. You don't know my shop. Like, so to even say something like that, just. But at any rate, it kept going. And so finally, I found an old picture, and we had a semi in there that was getting a full system. We had a 47-foot bus in there that was getting cameras. And I think one or two boats at the time. And the semi, the bus, and at least one boat were all side by side. And there was a boatload of cars behind it. I mean, we could I think without exaggeration at all, easily work on 20 cars without even like thinking like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Like at least 20 cars and have
without running into each other or running over.
No, not at all. Not at all. It'd be fine.
That's big.
I mean,
that's enormous.
It is. So I'll try and find some old pictures. I'll post them up again. Okay. But it's remote start season is always fun because it's like playing Tetris. I mean, as big as that garage is, there's, we have some runners because we do like dealer work, some wholesale accounts and things like that, expediter stuff. So we have cars that we take to dealerships that are, just old beater cars.
Right.
A lot of times we'll leave those outside because we don't have room.
Right.
I mean, it's insane. It's crazy. And this is not, I can work on 3.5. Well, actually we could work on 4 comfortably. No problem.
Okay.
Maybe 5, no problem, but it would be a little tight in here. So it's a lot different on that aspect for sure.
Yeah, definitely a scaled down version.
Yeah.
So you feel like you can easily control things.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, you got to think. So Morse Road has probably 30 employees. So, yeah.
In one store.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. I mean, I know like talking with Ray West from Titan at Knowledge Fest or right before Knowledge Fest, and he was like, "Yeah, we're taking like 19 guys, and that's like almost half of our staff."
Yep.
But they don't do just car audio; they do
Right.
Tint and wheels and tires and service and repair and full custom builds of and it's like, okay, so I get why they have so many people, but you guys are what, car audio and some accessories and
So our bread and butter is car audio,
right.
but we do, and obviously, everything under that umbrella. So remote starts, all that stuff. But we do sunroofs, we do leather interior, we do window tint, paint protection, rims, tires. We do some truck accessories,
Okay.
dabble in lift kits. And I say dabble, meaning like we don't really do them that much.
Okay.
But it's something we want to do more of and we're capable of. We just, it's hard finding the right guys.
Right.
Especially this day and age. I mean, everybody's a jack of all trades, right? Let's face it, we all learn by doing it, right? Like that's just how most of the people in this industry. I saw something today, I think Ken Ward posted, and it's like most people are self-taught in this industry. I mean, that's just the reality of it. So but finding that diamond in the rough nowadays that wants to get his hands dirty and wants to do this stuff and that knows what they're doing or that's willing to learn is been a little harder to come by.
Yeah. Definitely harder to come by nowadays. That was part of the conversation. I do another podcast with Ray West, and we had Ada and Anthony Tozzi on the other night, and that was something that we talked about with Tozzi was that this industry could stand to have a lot less retailers. Because you would, if you could get rid of, a certain percentage of the retailers that have been struggling to get by for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, right? And they're single guys or a guy and a helper, and that helper comes and goes or whatever. But if you could take, if you could take a percentage of these shops and they go away, and then now those people working and owning a business,
owning a job,
owning their job,
could
go to work for somebody else and just be a better employee. That's the way Anthony explained it. It was like some people are just better employees.
Yep.
Right. So you would have a stronger workforce available for our industry. So that says a lot. And there's more to that we could get into in another conversation, but we only have so much time tonight, so.
Yeah, and I mean that's kind of why I started that Sales Pros group. That was one of the basis behind it, because there's so many shops that are guys that, let's face it, we installed or whatever the case is, and we're like, man, we can do this on our own better and make more money. So they open a shop, but they don't have any idea how the front of the store runs, or someone like me who knows how the front of the store runs, but I may not know everything about the back of the store. You know what I mean? So, so they start this, and then I wanted to teach people how to interact with clients and how to build those relationships, and not be the guy that, I'm in the back of a trunk and someone comes in and it's like, oh, hold on, I'll be right there, and I'm tripping over boxes and everything else, trying to climb out. And then the showroom's a mess, and it's a bad experience. It's a bad look for our industry.
Yeah.
And so, I agree with you. And there's so many guys that, they're very passionate about it. And that's why they got into it. That's why they did it. But they don't know how to go to this next level.
Right.
And that's where all of us as an industry and as, peers in the industry need to really step in and say, hey, look, there's a better way. Maybe it's easier, maybe it's better, maybe it's more efficient, whatever you want to call it, but there's a different way to do this. Would you be open to learning?
Absolutely. Yeah. 100% agree.
Well, let's dive into some of the questions that we want to ask Jay tonight. I'll start off first. So, participating in the awards. Give us some history of how participating in the awards has been for you.
So what? Let's see. You won it in 16, 17, right? And
He was
then
pissed off that year, wasn't he? Damn it,
and
Elias.
then, so I went up in 18 and Amari won. And I remember being super salty. And then like I look up to John, like I love John to death, right? And so I was super salty because I'm a sore loser, first of all. Like I don't like to lose. I think everybody's like that, but like I really don't like to lose.
You were just mad because you didn't get the Eddie K book.
I was super mad about that.
I didn't even participate, and I was mad.
But at least I got to see Eddie K. But no, and then
Right.
I sat back and I'm like, you know what? She's been in John's shop all of her life. Like she's learned from John every single day. So you know what? Yeah, I lost Omari. Heck yeah, I did. And I'm proud of it now because of the fact that, like I said, man, I look up to John so much. He's great. He's been great to our industry, and he's just an all-around great dude, right?
Right.
So I was like, yeah, you know what? Whatever, I lost. I lost to the better candidate. And then 2019, I ran and I won. I think I still owe you for that, Elias. I don't think I paid you yet. But yeah, I
I'll
won.
send you my cash app.
Yeah.
It's okay. All his debt goes to me.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
So it's funny, even as a top 5, it's like, let's face it, I don't ever like try to not be on top of my game, but even more so now because it's like, I mean, I had a pretty big job that got sent to me from Josh Landau in St. Louis from JML.
Mhm.
I don't know why. He told the guy to come see me. The guy was out of Cincinnati, so I don't know what the whole thing was, but it was a pretty big deal. And I'm like, okay, I've got to be on top of my game for this, right? Because I'm representing not just Columbus Car Audio at this point. I'm representing the mobile electronics industry because I've been told that I'm one of the top 5 people or the best if it was 2019. But I think it was when I was top 5.
Okay.
But at any rate, it makes you think of things differently. It's because now you're representing this whole industry, not just Columbus Car Audio, which, I mean, at the end of the day, Columbus Car Audio has always been like a thing for me. Like I've always held that at such a high level that I never want to let anybody down. But it's just on a whole new level now, right? And now we're top 12 retailer. We went for retailer of the year this year and we lost. And again, it's funny. I was mad about it. I don't know if I want to use the term mad, but I was irritated that we didn't win, right? At first. And then I sat back and I'm like, we didn't deserve it. I mean, the video was rushed. There was a couple things that I missed in the video, and it's like, I'm okay with it. I'll do it next year. And hopefully I won't. If not, I'll do it the year after, But I think what it does is it does a couple things. It lets you reflect on you, right? And your company and your values and everything that makes you the professional that you are. And really see, okay, are you doing what you're saying you're doing in these videos? Are you doing what you think a top 12 or a retailer of the year or sales pro of the year should be doing? Because like one of our core values is integrity, right? And I think that's huge. And so many people don't think about it as like what we do. Like, obviously integrity means that like you're I don't know. I'm going to use it as an installer or a salesperson, right? So like, I'm not going to do something shady just because I don't think anybody will find out. Like whatever I do behind the scenes is the same thing I'm going to do in the spotlight. And I think that's huge as an installer, as a salesperson, Absolutely. As a business owner. Like, I don't care what it is. You guys see me at events. I'm in Columbus Car Audio attire because that's me. Like if it's not Columbus Car Audio, it's 12 Volt Sales Pros. Those are my 2 babies in my professional world. Right.
Right.
So being said, like everything shines. So when you're doing these awards and you're participating in it, like it really brings stuff to light. So I really sat back and when I was doing the video for retailer, like I'm looking at this and it's like, okay, are we holding up quality? Right. Are we holding up to integrity? Our attitude, our leadership, everything that we're doing, are we trying to give back? Are we trying to help other people out? Because like I said in my Sales Pros video, like, yeah, it's cool. If I win this award, it's cool. But what am I doing to get other people on my level? Because that's huge. Like, okay, Michael Jordan's the greatest of all times. We're not even going to debate it. We know it's true. I said it. But what did he do to bring other people up to his level, right? That's the key, is bringing other people up to your level and competing with you. Not just, I'm on this whole other level and you guys can't get to me. Like, I'm not going to share any secrets. This is how I do it. And you can't know inner workings. Like, that doesn't help grow the industry. And if we all do that, then the industry fails at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You said a lot of, strong things there. And I know, like, the competitive nature for everyone, to a certain extent is reflected differently, but all you guys know as well as I do that, what we do to encourage others to not give up and to reflect and to, basically use, each stepping stone along the way to an achievement as an award, regardless of what the award is, use that as a map of, I started here, I got to here. It doesn't mean that's the end of the road, because all of us, post our awards, we've gone somewhere with it. We've done something else with it. Bryan is intense with his passion for the industry, as am I, as are you. So we wear that, not just as a representation of, who we want to be for the industry and for our industry peers, but because this is us. This is 100% legitimately us. Also, side note, your Michael Jordan comment, I agree with you, but just be thankful that McNulty's not in here.
Oh my gosh, we've had these talks. I know.
So yeah, McNulty or
It's
Jamil,
okay. Hey,
if they were here,
it's all right.
Yeah,
They can be wrong. It's okay.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for that.
And I love both those guys. I mean, Jamil, like, that dude's on a whole nother freaking level. Like, forget it. Like, him, Phil Lindsay, like, my gosh. And then McNulty as well, man. McNulty's awesome. Other than he's got the wrong person for basketball, I guess. I don't know.
But yeah, no, I liked everything you touched on there. It was, definitely something that I will say, and this because you tell this to everyone that participates in the Sales Pro Award is, it doesn't stop here. Just keep going after it. And the beauty of it, from what I see for you guys being such a big, employee count, is you can involve everyone, and they're gonna get bit by the bug as well. So kudos to you and your team.
Right? And I think that's a big thing. When you're passionate about something, that passion overflows, right? Like, it flows to everybody around you, and they either pick it up and run with it, or they get away. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like that whole saying, real recognize real, whatever you want to say. Like, it's true though. Like, if you're passionate about something, it flows over to somebody else, and it ignites their fire for the same thing.
100%.
Yeah. So typically my next question would be, how has participating in the industry awards helped you develop you and your career? But you kind of answered a lot of that already, talking about, how you looked at it when you're trying to compete as a retailer now, or getting other people involved and bringing more people into the fold from your company. Because like you said, you get involved, and the people around you start seeing what you're doing. Winning inspires winning, right?
Oh,
so,
yeah.
They see you doing something, and they're like, oh, so now it's like, oh, if he can do it, I can do it, or I can try to do it, whatever. But it's in a weird way, it's like that term, keeping up with the Joneses, right? So
Yep.
The guy in at the computer next to you writing sales is now trying to get top 5 or be the next guy in your shop that's the sales pro of the year. Or you got installers that are seeing you and what you do and how you go about it, now that can drive them to want to participate as well. There's so many facets to how it can evolve and snowball for a company that has so many employees.
Yeah, I would say for like, to kind of do a second part to the question that Jay's already highlighted on. I mean, since winning Sales Pro, you've done a lot. The Sales Pro group, influencing your team and your coworkers. I'm pretty sure you would agree that that's been a wholesome feeling, and it's been a new level unlocked for you. Wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. It's great to be able to give back, right? Like, I don't know. For me, like the group, the Sales Pros group, like seeing some of those guys grow, and a lot of that has to do with Tony and his calls. I mean, he's religiously on those. I'm not. Like, I get on there every now and again. Just I'm busy, and let me take that back. That's an excuse. I don't get on there because I don't get on there. Like, at the end of the day, that's what it is. Unfortunately, but he's done great, and those guys have done so well with it. But having you and Tommy and some of the other guys that had, when we started that thing, like it was one of those things that, like, I had a thought, and I bounced off Tommy, is like, yeah, let's do it. And it snowballed quickly. And it really was just a thing. Like, I wanted it so that, we have all these technical groups. Everybody can talk tech stuff. Nobody talks about sales. Like,
right.
Nobody talks about how to get the car into the garage. And so that's what I wanted. I mean, it's such a good feeling, to see these guys and to know that they've gotten something out of that. It's not just something that I've put up there and, like, nobody gives a crap about. Like, there's so many people in there that are active and like are learning from the stuff, even if they're silent, they're seeing the posts and they're trying to change for the better. Right. So that's really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. The silent ones are the ones that I feel like take away the most when you really think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, like I go into, these classes sometimes when I have the opportunity to, and that's me. I'm just absorbing everything, and even sometimes I'm talking to, like, if it was all three of us, in a circle, and we added some, McNulty and, some John Shorts and some Dan Bowman, and we just start, talking, and it's all six of us. I'd rather just be the one, learning. There was Brian, was it Dallas last year that it was me, you, and John Shorts talking for a good while?
Yes.
And literally, I looked at my phone for the time. It was like evening, and then when we looked at it, it was like midnight. And we just kept going and going, and there's so much going on in there. And then McNulty showed up. I think Brettel showed up. I mean, moments like those are the ones that you really, look forward to, because you never know who's going to be part of that conversation, and it's amazing what it does for growth.
Right.
That's the best part to me about Knowledge Fest, is because it's the networking. It's the after hours.
Yeah, it's funny because I've talked for years, like with friends and family and stuff, about these trips that we do for Knowledge Fest. And people are like, oh, that's fun. You're going here, you're going there, go have fun. I'm like, no, you guys don't understand. Like, right. It's fun, but in a different way, because they're thinking, oh, you do a couple of hours or whatever, and then you go, play on the strip, or you go play all day at Disney World or whatever in Orlando. No, we work all day long. Yep. And when I mean all day long, that's like, some people are up at 7 a.m. and they're not going to bed till 3 or 4 a.m.
That's me.
Right. So you live on limited sleep and energy drinks. Yeah. And energy drinks. And you get home and you need 3 days off to recover from the 4 days that you were at Knowledge Fest. It's not.
I'm going to say this. I was on my way up to the room in Vegas this past event. I'm literally pressing the button on the elevator, and I get a message from Rob Coach. Hey, I'm here. I'm like, okay, let me go back. I go back. Jay and Rob. I'm like, okay, this will probably be like a little extra hour. I'm okay with that. Well, no, what happens is McNulty shows up. Now it's 4 or 5 a.m. and I'm like, I'm hostage. I'm just like, I want to be part of it, but I'm like, sleep, be part of it. Sleep, be part of it. I'm like, all right, guys, I'm out.
When I got in Thursday
Yeah.
night, it was late. It was a long flight. It was a mess. And I'm laying in my bed. I didn't even go down there Thursday night. And Rob texts me, and I'm like, oh crap. Like, dude, don't ask me to go out because I'm gonna go. Like, if you say, hey, I'm down a lot, like I'm gonna go down, right?
Right.
And he had the same like the whole same vibe. Like he was just checking in to see if I made it in. And like we saw each other the next day. He's like, oh my gosh, yeah, I was hoping the same thing, right? So, but then yeah, it's a long weekend. My wife used to think that it was all fun and games, right? And then so I take my wife and my kids to Orlando and usually to Indy because we just drive and we make a vacation out of it. They go to the Children's Museum in Indy, but it's funny. Like I try my hardest to hang out with them as much as I can. But then like when they go to bed, then I'll come back out and go down to the lobby and things like that.
Right.
And so she gets it now. She still doesn't love it. I mean, I get it.
None of them do.
Yeah.
No. It's just it's a world that most people don't get, It's very different the way we participate. And when Elias and when I first thought of the idea of these podcasts, and I was telling Elias, and it really kind of hit home when we were in Vegas. I go to shows, and working for a manufacturer, it's a little different because you're not as involved, because we're not going to classes all the time. We try to make one here or there, but there's always something else going on,
Right.
We have a full-time job that we have to do while we're still at the show. I'm answering emails and taking phone calls. Elias, he's writing sales and making sure he's taking care of the company clients. And so we're doing all of this stuff. So then we get to the show floor, we work the show floor, we do whatever we have to do there. And then it's, dinner. And you always have some kind of obligation for dinner somehow, right? Or you have no obligation and all you want to do is take a nap. Right? Am I wrong, Elias? No, I'm not wrong, right?
Not wrong.
And so you go sneak an hour, 2-hour nap, and then people are blowing your phone up.
I guarantee you, if we had little like cots on the show floor, and you did like a little like
you could rent them out,
like 15-minute like insert card for a 15-minute nap.
Yeah,
it would be.
yeah,
that might be a good idea for Chris Cook.
Absolutely.
Yeah, have a little area sectioned off, and you put your business card in, and you get like a 15-minute nap. Yeah, everybody gets to trade off. Yeah. But anyway, so
it won't be beer and business anymore.
It's just nap time.
It'll be nap.
Have Todd read you a bedtime story.
Being on the manufacturer side and not interacting as much, I've been feeling disconnected. I don't participate from being a fabricator and an installer. I don't participate in the groups online as much anymore because I don't have as much free time to do so. And in my personal life, I've gone on to do other things. I've, got into other things, as you can see behind me and hanging. I'm into music quite a bit. And so I always have things going on. So I don't have the free time to spend in those groups like I used to. So, everybody, we talk all the time about giving back, and this was my idea to give back. Let's do some podcasts. Let's let people see where some of the people that inspire them, let's see where they came from. How did they get to where they are? Right? How did the participating in the process of the industry awards help them evolve to where they are? And part of that conversation was Chris McNulty and I talking about it, as recipients of Trusted Tech. I'm pretty confident had I not won in 2015, I would not have gotten to where I am now as fast. Like my path would have been different because doing that and the things I did after that kind of pointed me towards where I am now, kind of directed me. And, Chris says the same thing. Elias kind of agrees similar for him, that the awards give you a perspective of your future to some degree, whether it's in retail or beyond retail. Like, it's funny because in 2017, I made a video for top 50, and I didn't even make top 50. And
wow. I didn't know that.
Pissed. Yeah, I was pissed.
I bet.
And later on, I reached out to Solomon because Solomon was still running the awards. I was like, why didn't I make it? And he goes, well, because in your video, you talked about how you were looking to the future and how that may not be as an installer. You want to go into doing this and this and this, all that I'm doing now. And I'm like, that makes no sense. Like, no. I have to have a path to evolve, right? And okay, it's whatever. It is. So 2016 was my last year. I moved beyond being able to compete in that facet, but found other ways to participate, right? Committees and helping develop where the industry awards go, and now this. And so it's interesting to talk to people, even just trying to reach out to guys about coming on our podcast and talking to them to say, hey, okay, so think about, these are the questions we typically ask, right? And to think about how participating and or winning has helped you develop where you've gone in the industry, wherever that is. And some of the responses have been very, very interesting. It's one of my favorite questions to hear people have answers to.
Yeah.
I'll stop with that.
No, don't stop.
Well,
I'll segue into the last question here, because I think this is the one that's going to really, hit home with you, Jay. And this is my favorite question, and I'm glad that I get to ask this, just because this is the one that I think we can all agree that we're the most passionate about. But what are the Jay Cook words of encouragement for those who want to take part, have taken part, are questioning, do I continue taking part? What is your thought bubble there? What are your words?
Like that? I mean, that's always my question. Like, why not? I never understood the people that, man, I don't, it doesn't matter. I don't need an award to tell me I'm good. And it's like, no, you don't need an award to tell you you're good, but it's always nice to have. I don't know. That's my thing. Like, I think it's huge. Like I said earlier, like just the self-reflection alone by doing these videos and answering the questions for, whatever awards you're going after, right? It makes you really think about what it is that you're doing. Like, if this is your career and you're in the list of the best, like, what separates you? I mean, you guys know me like enough to know, like, my big thing is like, I want to separate myself from everybody else, right? Like, you come to me, you're going to get something different than if you go to Elias or if you go to Bryan. Like, everybody brings different stuff to the table. So
right.
Why wouldn't you want to compete? And I don't know. I just think like you should do it. It's a life-changing opportunity if you let it.
That's very true. Like, we can all agree, like, you and Bryan have been in the industry, a lot longer, and you guys know that, what you make of it and what you apply and what you push yourself to do, there's going to be a reward for that, whether it's through an award, whether it's through self-growth, whether it's influencing others. There's an encouraging side of, what it allows you to do. And honestly, I tell everyone this: what you make of it is what you get out of it. And You know, the awards for us, you guys know this. The awards are our babies, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, you know, in these discussions that we have with MEA, a lot of times we are the industry. Guys like us are the industry.
Yep.
Right? We see through interaction, through communication, through networking, we see what the industry needs. And what the industry needs a lot of times is it needs people to help push other people.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I'll say it for me, the first time I made it into the top 100 installers, that's how far back I go. So that was like 2010. It was, you had to be nominated still. Like you couldn't self-nominate yourself. And when I got that phone call that someone had nominated me to the awards, I was like, oh my God. And from that day, every year, it was my goal to hope that I had done enough and tried to grow enough that I would make the list again. And especially when it dropped from top 100 to top 50, because now you just cut the list in half. Right. And then it was, you know, make the top 50. Okay, now I'm in the top 50. How do I get to 12? Right? Because I'm competitive. Yeah. I want to win.
Right.
I want to be at the time it was I want to be the best. I want to be one of the best. I want to be considered one of the best. I look at it a little differently now. The winners are not necessarily the number one person, right? They are not the best installer, because that's almost impossible to quantify the best installer, the best retailer, the best sales pro, the best rookie, right? It's not a popularity contest per se. I mean, it is, but it isn't. But the people who win the award, the top retailer, the top sales pro, the top installer, whatever the award is, sales, vendor awards, whatever they are, it's not necessarily the best. It is the person or the team that represents our industry the best this year.
Yep.
Right? They may not be the absolute best shop or best installer,
right,
per se, right? They are one of the best, right? And if they make it to the top 12, every single person that makes it to the top 12 or top 5 or whatever the finalists are for that category, if you make it to the finalists, you absolutely deserve to be there.
Yeah.
You have done everything you deserve, or everything you've done everything you need to deserve to be there. Because as I'm going to use this quote forever, as Rick Kojam put it when he was standing on stage this year at the Industry Awards.
Yes, that was awesome.
This is not a popularity contest. This is a work your ass off contest.
Yep.
And at some point, he's going to be on one of these podcasts, and I cannot wait for him to repeat it.
So, two things.
But here's the thing. Okay, real quick. Here's the thing. If you want to be good, drive to be better.
Yep.
Right? You will always be better by driving to be better.
Yeah.
And you do it for you, but you do it to grow. And your growth inspires other people's growth. Right? So if I'm competing, or you're competing, or whoever, if anybody's competing and there are people that they inspire, they're going to inspire those people to compete. Because it's impossible to not. So that's my thing on why. Why should we? Why should you? Because you will inspire somebody else to do it.
Yep.
That's strong.
100%.
So, I like that. That's impactful.
Rick was my Sony rep when I started back in the old days. We'll just go there. I'm not even going to say how long. But he and a handful of other guys have always been somebody that's influenced me and that I've looked up to in this industry. And when he said that in Vegas, I was like, absolutely right. Because you know what? You can say it's popularity contest, whatever you want. In a sense, yeah, it is, because guess what? If you don't play in the pool, nobody knows who you are, so we're not going to nominate you. Does the most popular artist get the Grammy? Like, if you're not going to find some unknown indie artist at the Grammys their first year, like you have to know who they are. I mean, that's just the reality of it.
Right.
I think I said it at the beginning too, like, oh, it's a popularity contest. They got to know you. Like, yeah, heck yeah, they do. Like, well, I'm not going to give this award to somebody, this award for our whole industry, and I don't even know who you are. Like, that's not right.
Right. So, there's been a few people that just pop up, out of kind of nowhere once in a while, but it's not common. And
no.
And then there's guys that, like, okay, so for off the top of my head kind of a thing, let's look at Matt Schaefer, right? That guy spent countless hours promoting things he was doing, carbon fiber stuff. He became really famous for the carbon fiber molds.
Yeah.
But everything he did was on social media. He posted all the time. So the only way he became known for what he did was by being good at what he did and showing what he did.
Yep.
And he was very detailed at showing what he did.
And then sharing what he did. Right?
Well,
by teaching at classes at Knowledge Fest and wherever he went and doing all of these things that he did, right? So again, work your ass off, right?
Right.
John Schwartz and his team didn't win Retailer of the Year twice by sitting on their ass.
Right.
Right? Jayson Kranitz hasn't won Installer of the Year, Retailer of the Year, Sales Pro of the Year. If he could, he'd go back and win Rookie of the Year. But he hasn't won everything he's won by sitting on his ass.
Yep.
Like any of us that have won anything had to work at it.
Yep.
Had to work at being known.
The shop you work for, the shop you work for, the company you work for, they had to work to build that brand, right? Like Columbus Car Audio didn't just open the doors and people just flocked in here and I had a friend of mine years ago that he was successful because he started his own business, which don't even get me started there. But anyways, he was sleeping on my couch when he told me this, and then I would never But anyways, like just because you open a business doesn't mean like money's just going to fall in your pockets and you're going to be rich. Like you have to bust your butt every day to be something in this world, whether it's in the 12-volt industry or restaurants or tech, basketball. You have to bust your butt.
Yes.
And that's what this award's about.
Right. So, you made the comment at the beginning of this that Columbus Car Audio is like the go-to place in Columbus for car audio. You didn't open the doors.
No.
And magically you were the go-to place.
No. I'll tell you, it wasn't just enough. Like, it wasn't like we're here, we're the best. Like it's been a roller coaster, right? Like we've had years, to work, we've had crap years,
fail and learn and fail and grow and fail and grow and grow and grow to get to that point. Right. Yeah. And again, failure is not failure. It's just learning how not to do something.
Yeah.
So just because you don't win the first time you jump in this pool doesn't mean you stop.
No.
Just because you don't win the second or third or fourth. There are guys that have competed for years.
I'll give you one. Our friend Chris Pate.
I was going to say.
Absolutely.
Yep.
It's funny because all three of us thought the same name.
Yep.
All at the same time. Chris Pate competed for years.
Yeah.
And I want to say Matt Schaefer also did a handful of years.
Yep.
And each year he came back hungrier.
Yep.
More creative and pursued it. And he was very persistent. There's so many names that we can, add to that. But it's one of those things where, as long as you're doing something positive to grow, these awards can be a stepping stone for whatever you apply.
Here's my favorite one. I'm gonna stop you real quick because I got to say this because every one of us will agree. And having participated in the back end of the awards for the last couple of years, Brian Mitchell.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So I saw his video last year, and then I saw his video this year, and this is the take home for every single person who wants to compete or has competed and lost. Look at what you did last year. Look at how you didn't do everything. Look at the sheet that you're given on what you need to fill out. All the parts of the video you need to make, all the questions you need to answer, how you need to do everything. Look at it. And then the fortunate thing for a lot of guys this year is people went and posted their videos publicly before the awards, right? Go look at every video you can find of whoever competed in your category. Ask the guys that competed against you if they're smart, they'll share it. They have no problem sharing it because again, it's about growth, right?
Yep.
So share that video. Ask guys who have won in the past, hey, can I see your videos? Look at what they did. Look at what you did. Brian Mitchell.
I can't find mine. I've tried to post it. I've posted I think my top 20, but not my top. I can't find my top 5 anywhere. I think it's on my wife's broken laptop.
Yeah. But the guys that have them, if they have them, they'll share them, right?
Yeah.
But this is where I'm at with that one. Brian Mitchell went from to oh my God from one year to the next. And he really took what pissed him off because he was upset last year that he didn't win. But he took it and used it as a positive and said, okay, what did I not do? How could I do it better? And talk to people. He talked to a lot of people. Yep. And here we are.
And Brian's one of those guys that, you guys would all agree, one of the most smart guys in this industry.
He hates to lose.
He hates to lose.
I mean, dude, that guy's a massive IASCA competitor. He hates to lose.
He has a ton of trophies to.
Oh, yeah. He's got wins all over the place. So, that one that was evading him was driving him up a wall.
Yep.
So
well, here's the thing. It's like they say, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Why is this still going on? So take the shot, do the awards. Mm-hmm. If nothing else, you can self-reflect.
Yep.
I mean, that's the thing I love about it.
Right. It's like anything else. If you don't ask the girl out, it's always no, right?
Yep.
If you don't try to win, you always lose.
Yep.
If you don't try at all, you can't succeed.
That's right.
And
I can tell you from experience, I mean, I fail all the time. I fail way more times than I win, right? But it's learning from it.
It's learning how not to do things, right? That's it.
Same thing Chris McNulty said.
Yeah.
Yeah. And don't ever be afraid to ask somebody,
ask for help.
Yeah, anybody that's watching this, if you ever have a question in regards to sales or Sales Pro Award or anything I can ever help you out with, let me know.
Yeah. We're all here for this.
Point of this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. The whole point of these podcasts. So we've launched 2 podcasts so far, right? Elias and I with Where Are They Now? And then Ray West and I have ours, which is Current Events with Grumpy Old Men. We have another one we're working on, and when that one comes out, we'll share that one. But everything about these podcasts and anybody that comes on, they're coming on because they want to help. Yeah. They want to give back. I don't do this for me. I don't do this for me. Right. Elias doesn't do it for him. You didn't come on for you. There's none of this is to benefit any of us.
No.
Right? This is the benefit for me. The benefit for Elias is we get to have fun hanging out, talking with different people. Elias and I talk on the phone all the damn time. We don't have to do this to have a conversation. Right. But to give back and help promote the awards that we are passionate about. That's why he and I do this. That's why we invite all of these people. I got this here. Let me show you how far, because we talk about this every time. So I have this now, and it was Jayson Digos from Helix from
Yeah.
MSC posted it on his page, and Chris Cook got it from him. It's hard to see, but that is the 1999 Mobile Electronics Industry Award program. That's the
Wow.
second annual. Okay, these are your top stores. These are your top installers. Right? There's guys on here that we know. Jayson Digos, Gary Biggs.
Never heard of them.
Yeah, never heard of those guys. So there's a guy on here. Okay, this guy on here, his name is Brian Pendergrass, right? And I keep bringing this name up because I'm absolutely enamored with finding this guy. I found out Brian Pendergrass was the very first installer of the year in 1994, and he was back-to-back winner 94 and 95, and in 99 he's still a top 12. Okay, so to understand how this works, back then, the only way you made the list, the top 100 list, was to be nominated by a rep or a manufacturer employee. Okay, that's the only way you could get nominated. That's the only way your name got put on the top 100 list. And then it would show up in the magazine, and you'd look at it, and you'd be like, "Oh crap, you're on there," right? And so this was huge. So I have this because, okay, obviously Jayson Digos, we can get a hold of him. I know Gary Biggs, we're going to talk to him, and those two guys will be on this show at some point. We're going to look for all of these guys. In the industry or not, I still want to talk to them, see where they went, right? Yeah. Where are they now, right? Yeah. Jeremy Carlson, I talked to him quite some time ago. He's really good friends with a guy named Ian Black, who was like 2002 or 2003 installer of the year. Okay. So I put it out there every time we do this show. If you know someone, I'm going to post these names again in groups. If anybody knows anybody who was a finalist or a winner, retailer, installer of the year from 94 to, I think, 2008 that we need to find the people for, somebody contact myself, Elias, contact Chris Cook, whatever, whoever. Contact somebody that can get in touch with me or Elias and give us a name. If you have contact information, give it to us. We're happy to reach out and talk to them. We will be happy to do the legwork because we want to see where those people are. Right? Yep. If we can find people going back that far, man, it'll be really cool to hear how the awards evolved.
Well, we found Jeff Smith. So
yeah, I mean,
we've gone really far back. At that point.
We found him.
How did you find him?
I hung a pair of what do you call them? Saber-toothed tiger underwear out on a flagpole, and you know, a couple of dinosaurs passed on his information and
No, it's crazy. What did he say? What year did he say he started? Like 1990?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Which was kind of weird to me because
little baby Elias.
Yeah, I was 3 years old.
I mean, I started in 85, so I thought Jeff had to have been doing it longer than I had, so that was kind of surprising to me.
I started last year.
Right. Okay.
How long have you been at CCA now?
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Going for 30 years, probably.
This will be, so I did have a small vacation, but this will be my 25th year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. See, it's cool to see how many of us, you know, the passion for all of this, you know, because it all, I think all of it really started from music, right?
Oh, absolutely.
We were all the kids that were, you know, I mean, I've been doing that since I was little. You know, my brother was a guitar player, and, you know, we played in bands and we went to concerts and, you know, we did all the things, right?
Yep.
And then we found cars. And then we found out you could put stereos in cars.
Heck yeah.
right? And that
Yep.
it was all over from that point, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we all thought about getting the hell out of this industry and
Yeah.
running from it. I know I thought about it a couple times, and you just can't. I mean, very few people do I know that really liked the industry that left.
I wouldn't trade it for anything. I would do it
Right.
again tomorrow.
Right.
I
let me know at least some of what I know now so I can make some different decisions on where I went.
seriously,
But
right?
yeah, but the industry is the industry, and love it or hate it, we have a passion for it. Some days we hate it, some days you can't get enough of it. Some days we give 27 hours a day, 40 days a week. It just it never ends. And so with that, thank you for coming on and spending some time with us.
Dude, thanks for having me. I mean,
absolutely,
it's been awesome.
I tell Elias every time we have conversations with somebody, I get new ideas, and so I write them down. So my one for this one is I have this idea now of, I think we can put like 10 people in this stream. And now I'm like, as we go along with this, at some point, I think we're going to have like a 10 person, just whatever, chat with a bunch of Where Are They Now people and just see how it goes and see the chaos that ensues. A bunch of what?
Jay Cooks.
A bunch of Jay Cooks.
You don't want that in your life.
A bunch of Jay Cooks.
A lot, let alone two.
And then hopefully no Adas with broken internet. Elias gets that. When we were doing the live stream on the other cast the other day with them, Tazi just tore a lot Ada up because his internet was locking up, and it looked like he was like on dial-up.
That episode is next on my list. Actually, I just finished the John Schwartz one. I don't know if you know, but Ada and I are doing Hardwired. So it's version 2.0 of it. And I think we're supposed to do it again this week. We did one at Knowledge Fest, and I think we're shooting one this week. So hopefully his internet's better.
Yeah, hopefully. All right, man. Well, thank you for being on with us.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, absolutely. And I'm sure we will talk more about other things in the future, for sure.
Look forward to it.
And Elias, Sales Pro Roundtable. Put that in your hat for later. Sales Pro Roundtable.
We might just have to get all the sales pros for that.
Right.
Put that in your 12-volt Sales Pros hat.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, man. You have a good night. Enjoy. Spend time with your family.
Guys.
And we will talk to you soon.
Thank you, sir.
See you.
Wow. Here we are running long again every single time.
Well, that's because,
we love this.
The celebrity sales pro.
The celebrity sales pro.
That's a thing, even though Jay says it's not a thing. It's a thing.
Well, he can try to be as humble as he wants. It's what the world dictates. If we say he's a celebrity, then that's the case.
It's kind of like the Batman, the Batman, when the Batman light comes on.
Right?
Like the sales pro light goes on.
That's what we need to do. We need to have somebody make a sales pro light, right?
So if he's driving home in Columbus,
right,
he looks up at the sky,
and there's a sales pro light on in the sky. That's pretty funny. Oh, that's awesome. Hey, man. I got some people to talk to for the next couple.
Yep. And I told you that some of those people on those lists that you shared from that 1999 program.
Yeah.
I think I recalled like one or two that we can reach out to that I think McNulty knows one for sure that I can get in touch with.
Okay.
So this is exciting.
Yeah.
The question is, who's next?
Who's next? We don't know. Well, maybe we know. Maybe we're just not saying.
Yeah.
But maybe we know.
It could be you watching.
It could be. Somebody's watching, and somebody's coming. So, again, for all you guys that question whether or not you're qualified to participate, make your, when the industry awards come around, don't wait till the last minute to think about your video. Top 50 video is easy, but don't wait till the last minute to think about it. Work on it now. Right? If you're doing things that you know or you feel are what you need to be doing, start making a video now. You need to make a 5-minute video to get into the top 50. Right? There's tons of them out there on YouTube and in groups, or you can reach out to people. If you guys don't know, you can go on the MEA Industry Awards website, and all the winners from 2014 to now are listed. Okay. Reach out to some of those guys. Ask them for advice. Ask them to see their videos. Right. Ask them questions, whatever you need. Somebody out there, lots of them are willing to help. Elias and I included, Jayson included, Chris Cook, Richard Basler, both from MEA. All of us that are friends of MEA. We're all here to help, and we're all here to support the awards however we need to get people to participate and make them comfortable with participating. But
Yeah,
again,
everyone on the committee, myself, you, McNulty,
Dean, Jeff,
Beulah, Jeff Smith. I mean,
Chris Beulah. Yep.
McNulty, Ada. Yeah. So there's so many of us that are diehard, proponents of the awards, but even more so, we're available. Any support, any encouragement, any advice, any help.
Proponents of growth.
Exactly. So this was fun tonight. We had a, one of our bigger, influencers of anything awards, and even more so the Sales Pro Award category.
Right.
So it's great having Jayson Cook on. He's always humble and selfless, but at the core, he cares, and he may show his care differently, but that guy's going to push you to bigger and better things always.
Yep.
So
don't be afraid to ask, and don't be scared to put in the effort, because if you put in the time and you're committed, you will see results. And that may not be a result of winning this year or winning ever, because there's nothing that says you win. I competed in Installer of the Year for several years. I never won. I found the award I wanted when Trusted Tech became a thing. That was my award. That was the award that I really wanted when it came around. But
yeah.
So I did win what I, in that aspect. Same like Dean this year. He never really cared for Installer of the Year, but he wanted Trusted Tech. So
but who knows? This might inspire him to,
it might
reignite the fire.
It might. It's anybody that has a thought about it. Try it. Try it
once and see what happens, and I guarantee you, you're gonna, get the
if you've got a competitive edge at all, it only takes one time.
Yep. It took Ada one time. It took me and McNulty motivating Ada and pushing Ada to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And now, even though he says he's not doing it next year, he always does it the year following.
Because he's still trying. It's that goal to see something through, right? For guys like you and I, we kind of have moved beyond those awards. Now we're into vendor awards, and having those available now for us, that's what we look at.
Yep.
We look at, I look at it as a vendor award for the company I work for. And
Yep.
I'm looking at, support tech. And there's always, it's kind of one of those things, no matter what position you hold in any company, whether it's retail or distro or vendor, manufacturer, there's an award for you. It may not be a single person award, but there's awards out there to compete in.
And you said something, and I'm going to say this in closing: results. Results don't have to be a win.
Nope.
It'd be nice to have a win.
Sure.
We're all competitive. We all aspire to, be acknowledged for what we feel we bring to the table. But results to me is a result of growth and a result of an acknowledgement, because I feel that there should be more than top 50. There should be more than top 20 sales pros, more than top 50 retailers and installers. We have so many awesome people in the industry that if I were to say, to everyone watching this, if you try it once or you try it again or you keep doing it again, we're going to get to that point. And to me, from a place of inclusivity, try it and see the results. I'm pretty sure you would agree to this.
Yeah, because if you think about this, right? This was something that somebody said to me a long time ago. Top 100, top 50, top 20, right? If you're so for me, it was installer, right? If you're a top 50 installer, you're one of the 50 best in the country, actually in North America at this point, right? Because we include Canada, and if there was anybody in Mexico, they'd be able to compete as well. We do have guys actually down there, but one of the top 50 in North America, and we've got more and more and more Canadians participating than ever before, right? At one point there were none, and then there was 2 or 3, and then now there's several. I don't even know how many there are at this point. But if you're top 50, you already are one of the best. If you're top 12, you're even better. You deserve at that point. You deserve top 12, and you are capable of being named installer or retailer of the year, or if you're top 5 in Sales Pro or top 3 or whatever the case may be, in whatever category you compete in. If you make it to the finalists, you deserve the title. Whether you get it or not, you are there. And you can never deny that you were a finalist. Nobody can take it away from you.
And I'm going to add one more thing there. If you have the love and the passion and the desire, and you aspire to be better, and you want to hold yourself accountable and grow, don't ever feel like you are not deserving to take part in the awards. That is the number one thing that always makes me cringe when somebody says, "Oh, I don't deserve to be on there." If you feel that you're a rock star in your own, mental bubble space, and you put 100% every day, and you want to grow, do it. Don't think twice about it. Don't wait for somebody to say you deserve to be there. If you feel you deserve to be there,
get there.
Do it, prove it, grow. The results will self-reflect that.
Amen.
It may not be right away, but it will.
For sure. All right, man. Let's get out of here. Again, somebody's coming up soon again.
We'll see you guys soon.
Talk to you guys soon. Thanks, Elias, again for the night.
All right, Brian. Good night.
Good night.